Hey everyone, Carrie Beck here with Family eBiz, and we are in the middle of a series called Get It Done. Last week we talked about productivity tips. Today we are moving into time management tips. I know all of these topics that we're talking about over this 4 weeks are very important because I've worked with my mastermind groups, and I know some of you, you're like, oh, I just can't stay focused. I'm not getting things done. Today we're going to talk about some really important things that you can do as well. Hey, if you have not subscribed to our podcast, would you please click subscribe? This helps us get the good information out to more and more people. And be sure to share this with someone that you think this would help as well. All right, we're going to talk about some time things. Let's see. I want to ask you a question. Are your time management tips working for you? Or do you fail to reach your goals with the plan that you're using? If you're not getting things done that are producing income, you need to probably rethink what you're doing and come back and let's look at some things that you could do differently. I've got 3 tips that I want to share with you today. We're going to begin with one. I don't know when I learned this. It's 3 years ago. It's called the Pomodoro Method. I actually recommend it to homeschool moms as well. For those of you that don't know, yes, I have Family eBiz as a business, but I have a niche business. I always call it niche, and then they're like, I think it's niche. I'm like, okay, niche. Um, a homeschool bit in the homeschool niche. And so that is where I do a lot of work as well. So I am in both worlds. I don't just teach people how to make money. I actually make money in a niche. It's not just this one. So let's talk about the Pomodoro method. Let's talk about what it is and then the benefits of using it. I used to have an app on my phone, but I don't anymore. It's a Pomodoro app, and I would push the button, and then when it was over, time to take a break, and it would actually say that to me. Now I just use my Google or I use a timer on my actual computer. Even when I'm at the coffee shop, I will put a timer on and I will get up and walk around for a minute. So, how does it work? For me, I set the timer for 25 minutes. I am focused and I need to stay focused for 25 minutes, and then I get a 5-minute break. I think it's very important during that 5-minute break, you get up and move around. Now, sometimes it's not a whole 5 minutes. If I'm in the middle of something that I want to stay focused on, it may be just get up at my desk upstairs and then walk downstairs, get some coffee, and go back upstairs. Other times, it may be get up and clean the bathtub or empty the dishwasher. There are other times I will go outside on our driveway and walk up and down and pray for 5 minutes. It just really depends, but it is so important that you take a break actually the eye doctor told me this. I said, is there anything that I can do, any exercises that I can do to improve my eyes? She says, well, I don't know about improving, but to keep them well, do you work at the computer? And I said, yes. She goes, every 20 minutes you need to look away. I said, well, every 25 minutes I get up and walk away. She says, that's good. If you are sitting longer than 25 minutes, you need to change things. And some of you are like, oh, I'm so focused. I don't want to stop. I'm going to make it an hour. Well, the problem is I cheat sometimes, and that 25 minutes turns into 30 or 35, but it never goes all the way to an hour. That way I am getting up. It is better for my health. My back does better, my eyes do better, my whole system is doing better because I'm taking a break. Now, I am taking a break physically, but my mind is not. I am staying on a similar task. When I come back, I am right back to what I was thinking about until it is done. Now, the other thing I do, now I do get, it depends. If I'm expecting a text, I may check this, but I try really hard not to check texts. Those of you that have followed me know I do not get notifications for Facebook on my phone. I do not get email notifications. The only thing I get notifications for really is text or the WhatsApp, which is international texting. And then I do get one from my assistant, but I don't really even look at that unless I'm working on his tasks and I'm sort of working on that part of my business. I don't pay attention to it. If you're getting notifications on your phone for social media, turn them off. That distracts you and you cannot stay focused during that 25 minutes, especially if they make noise. At least I don't even think my texts make noise when they come in. They may, I don't really know. But I would say checking tasks or social media for your 5-minute breaks if you just can't wait, or save until nighttime if you need to. Now, my text, I do, that is the one thing I actually sort of check throughout the day, but I try not to check them during my 25 minutes because I want to be focused. So that's the Pomodoro method. Is that something that would help you? If so, leave a comment. Let me know. I would love to know that. I'd also love for you to leave a comment. Let me know out of all three of these things that I'm talking about, which one would be most helpful to you. Here's number two. We have Pomodoro method. Number two, time blocking. This is something I have really started working on. I've heard about it for a while, but I'm really going to work on it. Let me give you a little bit of research about it and then tell you this is one of the reasons I am changing the way I am putting out my weekly content. I am no longer doing Facebook Lives. I'm doing pre-recorded. Now, I may still do some Facebook Lives, but as far as my weekly content, I am pre-recording them, and here's why. Let's look at research. Meyer has said that even when we take brief mental blocks and shift away from what we are working on, it can cost us as much as 40% of our productive time. And I have some links. I'll put these in the show notes. So when you are moving back and forth from task to task, and I'm guilty of this last week, I kept working and then the Facebook thing because I was having a chat with someone and it was a business chat. It was about working on something. I was like, put Facebook down. You need to focus on this. And then I just turned it off. I was on my desktop upstairs. So I do actually turn it off at other times because it says it can cost you as much as 40% of your productivity time. Another study from Reclaim says if 20% of cognitive capacity is lost when we content switch. We go back and forth from one task to the other. It says it takes over 20 minutes to get back on track with a task after being interrupted. If you're working in an office and then someone stops at the door and asks you a question, they say it can take as much as 20 minutes to get back where you were working on that task. And they also say in their research, at least 45% of people are less productive while context switching. That's almost half the people are less productive. You're probably, I know I am. It takes me a while to get back on track. The average professional, it says, attends 25.6, I don't know how you have a 0.6 meetings a week. That causes them to switch contexts, task to task, 5.1 times. This was just in August, this study that they did. So what is the conclusion to all this studies? Quit multitasking. Let me say it again. Quit multitasking. Work on one thing until it's done. You know, when you go on vacation, it's amazing how much work you can get done because you know you have to finish it that day. You're leaving the next morning or whenever you're leaving. So quit multitasking. Close your social media. Now, I know for me, my social media is all work related. Now, I will say I do check it, but it's at nighttime if I'm going to do any kind of personal looking. But it is hard because even on social media, I'm doing work and these things keep popping up and they're all work. So you really need to allocate a time block for social media. I would encourage you personally to do that in the afternoon, not in the morning. Just like I would encourage you to do email in the afternoon, not in the morning. Morning is really your best productivity time, even if you're a night person because you are just waking, you are fresh. Now, it may take you a big cup of coffee to get started, but morning, you have just slept, your body is refreshed and ready to think. So quit multitasking, close your social media, turn off all your notifications on your phone and silence it. If you need to, go put it in the other room. I do get more done. If it stays down here and I run upstairs to get some work done, I don't know what's going on my phone. What a thought. Okay, so let's talk about my new podcast system and how time blocking helps this. Here is how I would use time blocking. Instead of, I thought I had turned off all my alarms, see? Um, Instead of recording every Monday, and that breaks it up. So the live part is nice, but right now I'm trying to make sure I get more done. I'm only going to record 1 or 2 days a month. Like today is my recording day. I have one person that got sick that I was interviewing for a homeschool, so we will do a makeup. But other than that, I won't record again until December because it's November right now. So I'm only recording 1 day a month. That way I can stay focused and sort of, just put those things out. And one day before then, or in the morning, maybe I plan like what I did to this month. Yesterday, I planned all my homeschool podcasts from now for the next 5 weeks. I did all my homeschool family eBiz ones for the next 4 weeks. I spent one afternoon doing it all. I didn't go back and forth. I didn't check Facebook. I didn't check email. I focused on my outlines. Today at 2 o'clock, I started recording. I had someone I was interviewing. It is now 5 o'clock, 3 hours, and I have had an interview. I've done all my homeschool ones from now until the 1st of December. And after this is the third, I have one more to do in Family eBiz, and I will have all my recordings done for the next 5 or 6 weeks in one afternoon, actually 2 afternoons. Yesterday, it was only about an hour or two that I worked. That way, yesterday I also wrote the descriptions, the titles. I do need to still write emails, but I will be doing that this week so that they are all scheduled out and I don't have to think about it. That's really big for me. And so I can really focus on other things that are more income producing activities. I can always tweak things as it gets closer. I can check to make sure everything is current the day before that email goes out. But most of the time, even if it goes out without me checking it, it's done. Can you see how time blocking? You are focused on one task. You're not flip-flopping back and forth. In other words, you're not working on writing a blog post and then Facebook. Oh, and then you come back. Oh, Facebook. This morning, I was working on keyword research, and it was a combination of keyword research and writing images and then doing my spider web for my SEO on my blog post. All of that rolled into one. I was focused and doing those SEO spider webs. I sort of knew where my other blog posts were that I wanted to point to each of the new ones as well. So I was sort of focused on those keywords for gratitude because that's what all of our blog posts are about right now. Another thing I've time blocked for years, I mean like 20 or 30 years. I do QuickBooks. I do my bookkeeping on Thursday mornings. How did it start on Thursday morning? Because my kids went to Mother's Day out on Thursday morning, and the first 2 or 3 hours of them being there, I would go downtown and I would work on Steve's books, or I would work here. Usually, most of the time, it was all downtown by the time I was actually time blocking. And then I had the rest of the day to do whatever I needed to do. So I began doing that, and I still to this day work on QuickBooks. Is it every week? No, but it's at least 2 weeks a month so I can stay current and up to date. And then, so that's the Pomodoro method, time blocking. If you have questions about time blocking or Pomodoro, please leave a comment. Let's chat about those things. The last one is co-working. And this co-working actually really got me pumped up and made me want to do this Get It Done series. You see, as I've mentioned in the past, I've run some small group masterminds. And one of the things I said, how could we make this better? And one of them was that we would touch base in between our monthly meetings. You see, here's how it works. We meet once a month in our small groups of 4 or 5 bloggers, business owners. And so we meet and everyone gets their turn, their 30 minutes to talk about what we're going to talk about. And then we don't meet again for another month. And they're saying, could we meet in between? So here's what we have: a Facebook group with everyone. So what I decided to do is in between all of those meetings, we would have a co-working time, and everyone in all the groups actually gets together, comes together for this co-working time. And we use the Pomodoro method. And I mean, we just went around the room, everyone said their name and their niche, whatever it is. And then I said, okay, timer goes on for 20 minutes. And then when we're done, we'll help you get unstuck. Or if you have a question, we'll talk about it. Put that timer on. Let me tell you, if you're working with other people and there's a timer on and it's like, I'm like, I want to look at Facebook. I have got this thing and I have to tell people at the end, did I get done whatever it was? I forgot to say in the chat in Zoom, I asked everyone to put the one thing they wanted to get done. And so then at the end, so what we did is we did 20 minutes, then we took a 5 or 10 minute break. Next time I'll tell them to at least stand up. And then we worked for 20 more minutes. And then we went around the room and said what we got done. Or if we had a question, how we could get unstuck. And so we actually helped some people, both during those little 5-minute breaks as well. I have a few ideas to make it a little better, but I want to tell you overall, everyone's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is so good. I got so much done. We had one of our members who went through and completely finished editing her planner that she had sent off to the graphic designer, and she was trying to get it ready so she can launch it in January. And she goes, I got it. I think she maybe had 2 or 3 pages left, or maybe she got all of it done during that time period. And I don't know how many pages, 80 pages, something like that. And she had half of it done, got the other half done. That is what co-working can do. Bring you all together. Do you have to be a member of our mastermind? No, you could just get a few people. I was part of an accountability pod for a while when I was working on raising leaders, not followers. And this wasn't co-working, but it did help me stay together. I have been in some co-working things with Amy Porterfield. I'm part of her mastermind. She is my coach, and I go in there during their co-working times. And you better believe I'm going to focus on what I need to get done, because I don't want to have to say, oh, I sort of got sidetracked on Facebook. Oh, this thing kept going off, so I never got anything done. No, co-working can help. So find a co-working group. I would love for you to join our group, but we only open certain times of the year. If you're interested, I will leave the wait page, and you can sign up for that web page as well and send you a little bit more information. So we're talking Pomodoro method, time blocking, and co-working. Which one of these three would help you right now today, wherever you are? Leave a comment and let us know. And if you have any questions or need some help on time management, I also have 10 time management tips I will be leaving as a resource in the show notes as well. Hey, thanks so much for spending time with me. I am Carrie Beck with Family eBiz. Y'all have a great day.